Israel's prime minister is making a vow to Hamas as the death toll increases, what a military spokesperson says the country is now preparing for.
The war is prompting rallies, vigils, conversations, and more here in Indiana. Ahead, hear the message from local Jewish leaders.
Republicans are announcing their nomination for the open House Speaker's seat. What House Majority Leader Steve Scalise says he will do if elected.
And a hotel guest describes the moments leading to deadly gunfire. What he says about the shooting that left one man dead and 2 other people wounded.
News 8 Daybreak starts now.
And after 9 on this Thursday, 12th of October.
Thank you so much for joining us. Tara Hastings has a look at our forecast today, and I think it's a good one.
Oh, it is a good one. These are one of those days that, you just have to get out and enjoy because we don't really get them too often, right? Sure. It's going to be a beautiful day. We have a little bit of cloud cover out right now, but overall, a quiet day out there. Start to the morning and much warmer than what we had yesterday. Here's a live look in Carmel. We've got sun splashing out on the grass here. 51 degrees right now in the Carmel area. And we've got mostly sunny skies pretty much statewide, except in the northern part of the state. Some cloud cover and even a few showers, but not going to rain all day long up north. 51 degrees right now in Noblesville and Anderson. Also Greenfield, 50 in Shelbyville, 53 degrees officially at the airport in Indianapolis, and 51 degrees right now in Brownsburg. Let's take a look on Storm Tracker and show you where we are seeing a few of those light showers coming in just north of Kokomo, around Lafayette, Rensselaer, also around parts of South Bend, Lake Porter and LaPorte counties. So Valparaiso, Chesterton, also Hammond and Gary seeing some of those light showers out there for you this morning. Again, not going to last all day long here, but we are going to see a little bit more in the way of cloud cover farther northward. Today, I think we'll stay in the mid-50s here at 9 o'clock. And then by lunchtime, we're going to quickly see our temperatures climb, going with temperatures into the mid-70s here by lunchtime and mid and upper 70s later this afternoon under a mostly sunny sky. Get out and enjoy it. We're talking about 10 degrees above normal for this time of the year. Indianapolis going to the high of 77, along with Bloomington, 80 degrees in Washington and French Lick. And then where we are going to see a little bit more cloud cover here, South Bend and Fort Wayne, we're going to see those temperatures into the 60s. We are tracking a storm system that's going to move through here. That's going to bring us a good chance for some showers, maybe even a few thunderstorms Friday. We will time that out and let you know what we can expect for the weekend because temperatures do take a tumble. All those details in my 8-day forecast.
Tara, thank you. We're following breaking news. Police in West Lafayette believe 2 people found dead may have fallen from an apartment building near Purdue's campus. That happened just after 9 last night at the Campus Edge Apartments. Officers say the victims were found dead in an alley behind the building. Police are still looking into exactly what happened. They have not released any information about the victims.
I understand on a personal level the harrowing echoes that Hamas's massacres carry for Israeli Jews, indeed, for Jews everywhere.
New this morning, U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken says he comes before Israel as a Jew with the message that America will always stand by its side. He arrived in Tel Aviv overnight to meet with the Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu and the Palestinian president.
That meeting with the Palestinian president will happen tomorrow. Netanyahu confirmed that the meeting with Netanyahu confirmed that 25 Americans are now dead because of the war. Blinken says anyone who wants peace should condemn what he calls the reign of terror of Hamas.
We know Hamas, instead of promoting the well-being of its citizens, rules repressively and dedicates the resources it has to terror tunnels and rockets. We know Hamas didn't commit its heinous acts with the interests of Palestinian people in mind. We know Hamas does not stand for the future that Palestinians want for themselves and for their children. Hamas has only one agenda: to destroy Israel and to murder Jews.
Blinken says there are discussions underway to allow citizens to leave Gaza through Egypt. His visit comes as an Israeli military leader confirms planning is on for a ground invasion if the order comes. It would be the first ground offensive in Gaza since 2014. All told, the count of confirmed deaths in Israel and Gaza is now 2,500 people in 6 days.
Well, people in Zionsville are standing in solidarity for Israel. They held a prayer circle outside a storefront on Main Street. Bob Goodman has owned the business for more than 20 years and says he's willing to offer support to anyone in need. Goodman says he's been following the developments from the Middle East every day this week and adds it's not a surprise that the event's organizer, Janelle Morrison, reached out. She says Zionsville compassion runs deep.
Lets them know that it's okay to feel fear or pain or to acknowledge, again, the suffering of other human beings. Rather than sitting around and doing absolutely nothing, let's come together in a show of solidarity. It's a great example for those that are feeling helpless and want to do something but aren't really sure what can they do.
Morrison says people in the states will find strength in their communities, and both Israelis and Palestinians navigate the violence. Well, Purdue holds another event to support Israel. The vigil was held at the Engineering Fountain. Organizers say some students have a direct connection to the war. They say the focus is on helping students and making the world a better place.
We over here in Indiana should do acts of good, make this world a better place, not to get depressed by the darkness of what we saw, by the images of that, the images and videos which are coming in. It's very hard to get yourself up and proactive. So today is it's a call to action, action of good, acts of kindness, and that's for everyone.
Students from many backgrounds were in attendance. And happening today, multiple Jewish organizations are set to host a community dialogue on anti-Zionism and the war in Israel. It's part of the Anti-Semitism Uncovered Learning series. Organizers say experts from the Jewish community will answer questions and help people learn to respond to common anti-Semitic tropes. It starts at 7 at the Jewish Community Center of Indianapolis. The event is free, but registration is required.
A pro-Palestinian demonstration is set for Monument Circle today. Organizers are calling for America to end its aid to Israel and for Israel to free all Palestinian prisoners. Rally set to start at 5:30 this evening. Plans for it drew a response from one of the candidates for mayor of Indianapolis. In a statement, Jefferson Shreve asked people not to go to the rally, saying it celebrates brutality. Shreve also challenges Mayor Joe Hogsett to condemn the protest, writing, "History has taught us silence or muted responses from political leaders provide a license to, in his words, commit more evil. What Hamas did is barbaric, and we must stand with our ally Israel." The International Red Cross is looking for donations to help all victims of the war. If you'd like to give, scan the QR code on your screen. That'll take you to wishtv.com. Our coverage of this war includes a link to donate.
And Republicans nominate Majority Leader Steve Scalise for House Speaker. The GOP made the decision in a closed-door, secret ballot election. Scalise will need 217 votes to secure the gavel. Right now, he's falling short. Nearly half his party is voting for Representative Jim Jordan, while some refuse to vote at all. Scalise also needs 104 votes from the Democrats to reach the threshold. Scalise says if he is elected, his first action would be passing a bipartisan resolution, making clear the House stands with Israel. Jordan agrees.
So it's important we're back functioning as a House of Representatives. We need a speaker, and Steve is the guy for that. And I will, like I said, I've offered to give the nominating speech for him when we get back in session, which I hope is soon.
As we've reported, Republicans historically ousted former House Speaker Kevin McCarthy last week. A possible date for the vote has not yet been set. It's 9:09 new this morning. Police say a juvenile is hurt after an overnight shooting on the near north side of Indianapolis. That happened at 12:30 this morning on Evison Avenue near the Indiana State Fairgrounds. That's when officers say they found the victim. Investigators believe someone fired the shots from outside into a house. Police say the victim is stable. For My Team 8, a guest at a Northwest Side hotel is describing the moment deadly gunfire broke out in a room across the hall.
Happened late yesterday at the Extended Stay America off 86th Street, 465 area on the Northwest Side. J.J. Smith says he's been staying at the hotel for more than a year. He tells My Team 8 he heard yelling, then gunfire.
And next thing you hear all heck break loose across the hall. I was literally right across the hall from them. And next thing I know, I got bullets flying through the room. I mean, it was chaos.
IMPD says the shooting left one man dead and 2 other people critically wounded. Police say 4 people were in the room where the gunfire started, but they have not said how many of them fired shots. So far, police have not reported any arrests. Former Indianapolis Colt Sergio Brown is under arrest in connection to the death of his mother. Police say they took Brown into custody as he tried to re-enter the United States from Mexico. Authorities had been looking for him since the discovery of Myrtle Brown's body near her home in Chicago, near Chicago. Formal charges are not yet in, but the warrant for Brown cites first-degree murder. Sergio Brown played for 4 teams in his NFL career, including 3 seasons as a Colt, starting in 2012. It is 11 minutes after 9 o'clock. We're up to 53 degrees.
Taylor Swift's Eras Tour movie opens nationwide tonight. Ahead, see some of the Swiftie swag you can get at local theaters when you see it.
Ooh, they're going to be friendship bracelets, maybe? We are going to see lots of sunshine for the day today. Temperatures in the upper 70s. We'll talk much more about what we can expect heading into the weekend in my full forecast.
Wish TV News, reaching more Indiana homes than any TV station in the state.